Be prepared. The 6-6 portal is not coming. It's already here, and most people will miss it, not because they're unworthy, but because they're distracted, because they're still choosing comfort over truth and silence over alignment. This is not just another energetic shift. This is a cosmic threshold, and if you're not conscious, you'll cross it carrying everything you were meant to release. Have you noticed it? The sudden exhaustion, the strange clarity, the urge to walk away from people and patterns you once swore you needed? That's not mood. That's the portal sorting you. Right now, your soul is making decisions your mind hasn't caught up with. And tomorrow might be too late to adjust, because this portal doesn't ask permission. It opens, and then it closes. And when it does, the timeline you anchored will become your new reality. So ask yourself, are you still entertaining what your future has already rejected? Because this isn't just energy, it's a choice. And it's happening now. This is not just a portal, it's a pattern breaker. The 6-6 frequency doesn't ask for intention, it demands alignment. This isn't about what you want, it's about what your soul is ready to embody. And the truth is, most people don't even realize they're being activated, because the 6-6 portal isn't loud, it's coded. It speaks in numbers, in sensations, in dreams that leave a residue on your skin. It moves through your body before it enters your thoughts. It stirs something ancient, not remembered by the mind, but by the soul. Numerologically, 6 is the number of balance, embodiment, divine responsibility, and sacred union, not just with another person, but with your own destiny. And when doubled, 6-6 becomes a mirror. Not of who you've been, but of who you're becoming. And that's why this energy feels strange, unsettling, unfamiliar, because it's not designed to confirm your current identity. It's here to confront it. Have you felt it? That invisible tug on your spirit? The rising tension between what you say you want and what your vibration is actually calling in? The 6-6 portal exposes that gap, not to shame you, but to close it. It shows you what's still leaking, what you're still compromising, what you've outgrown but haven't fully released. And it does this through polarities, sudden moments of bliss followed by deep silence, powerful clarity followed by aching confusion, a rush of purpose, then the crash of old fears. This isn't chaos. This is realignment. The 6-6 frequency brings with it an invitation to stop intellectualizing your healing and start living it. To stop saying, I know my worth, while still tolerating energy that belittles it. To stop saying, I'm ready, while secretly holding on to timelines built on survival. Because this portal won't carry forward anything that isn't vibrationally congruent. And anything you try to drag through it, relationships, beliefs, habits, will either dissolve or pull you backward. This is a checkpoint, a moment between chapters, and not everyone you love will walk through it with you. That's part of the pain and part of the liberation. Because on the other side of this portal isn't a reward, it's responsibility. To live what you've been learning, to embody what you've been affirming, to root what you've been receiving. No more almost. No more theory, no more speaking light while anchoring shadow behind the scenes. You've been shown too much to pretend you don't see. You've been cracked open too many times to pretend you're still asleep. And this portal, it will leave behind whatever refuses to grow. So let it. Let it strip away what isn't rooted. Let it call forward what's been buried. Let it rearrange what no longer serves the next level of who you are. Because the 6/6 portal isn't just here to bless you, it's here to filter you. And what makes it through is what was always meant to remain. Before you can receive what's meant for you, you have to release what's interfering with your signal. And that begins with a frequency detox, not just of people, but of patterns, memories, habits, and vibrations that no longer carry the resonance of your future. Because the 6/6 portal doesn't only amplify alignment, it also amplifies distortion. Anything you've been suppressing, ignoring, or postponing is now speaking louder. Not out of cruelty, but because the portal is clearing static. And that means everything that doesn't belong is being brought to the surface. So, what's distorting you? Is it the relationship that's always almost enough, but never actually safe? Is it the self-talk you've normalized? The one that dims you before anyone else gets the chance? Is it the constant scrolling, the noise, the overstimulation that keeps your nervous system too busy to hear what your soul is whispering? Because detox doesn't always mean cutting people out. Sometimes it means finally telling the truth about what they bring out in you. Sometimes it means acknowledging that your loyalty to someone else has become betrayal of yourself. This is the part most people skip. They want the magic of the portal without the clearing it requires. But you can't upgrade your frequency while entertaining energy that keeps you stuck in cycles of self-abandonment. So if the same patterns keep repeating, if your body keeps tightening in certain spaces, if you keep choosing distractions over decisions, if your peace keeps fluctuating with someone else's behavior, pay attention. Because your soul has already started detaching, and now your conscious choices must follow. Here's the energetic truth. You can't rise if you're still negotiating with what drains you. You can't anchor the new if you're still addicted to the old. And the 6/6 portal will make this impossible to ignore. You'll feel it in your body, in your sleep, in your cravings, in the sudden irritation with things that used to feel familiar. It's not just mood, it's movement. It's your system preparing to shed density. So detox, not out of punishment, but out of preparation. Clean your space. Not for aesthetics, for clarity. Unfollow what drains you. Not for drama, for peace, cancel the plans. Not to isolate, but to recalibrate. Because when you create space, frequency fills it. And when you stop feeding distortion, truth rises. You don't have to force the shift. You just have to stop resisting the clearing. Let the noise leave. Let the patterns break. Let the interference fall away. Because you can't hear your calling through someone else's chaos. And the version of you that's meant to walk through this portal, she travels light. The higher the energy rises, the deeper your roots must go. And right now, with the 6/6 portal wide open, your body is not just a container. It's a compass, a translator of frequencies, a bridge between the unseen and the fully lived. You weren't meant to float through this shift. You were meant to anchor it, to embody the light, not escape into it, to bring divinity into the bones, the breath, the step, not just into thought. Because the more the portal accelerates your energy, the more your nervous system will need grounding. And if you don't consciously come back into your body, you'll mistake activation for anxiety. You'll call expansion discomfort. you'll interpret release as fear. So here's what most people don't realize. Ascension is not upward, it's inward. It's downward. It's becoming so present in your own body that the truth has nowhere left to hide. You might be feeling it already. The heat rising, the skin tingling, the magnetic pull to move slower, breathe deeper, touch the earth. That's not weakness, that's wisdom. That's your body adjusting to the download, and the only way to integrate that light is through physical presence. So ground yourself, not as a ritual, as a reconnection. Touch the earth with bare skin. Drink water with intention. Breathe as if your life depends on it, because it does. Notice how your space holds your energy. Is your environment reflecting chaos or calm, clutter or clarity? Because your room isn't just where you saw, it's where your energy rests. Rearrange your space with reverence. Sweep not just to clean, but to move stuck frequency. Open a window, not just for air, but for flow. Let light in. Let what's stale go out. Because portals don't only open in the sky, they open in your skin, in your spine, in the way your feet meet the floor, and your breath meets the present moment. Grounding is not a step, it's a requirement. If you're constantly in your head, you're missing the instructions your body is trying to give you. If you're trying to ascend without integrating, you're creating imbalance, floating above the lessons you came here to embody. So eat well, sleep, move, stretch, not for perfection, for presence. Your body is the altar. Your breath is the offering. Your stillness is the prayer. And every time you return to this moment, you align yourself with the truth of this portal. You don't rise to escape life. You rise to fully enter it. Because the light coming in now isn't meant to stay cosmic. It's meant to become cellular. Not everything that awakens you comes with sound. Sometimes the loudest transformation begins in the quiet. The 6/6 portal is coded. It speaks not to your thoughts, but to your soul's memory. And the only way to hear it clearly is to become still. We've been taught to seek answers with our minds, to analyze, research, ask, repeat. But what's coming through this portal isn't found in language. It's found in frequency, in subtle pulses, in the sacred pause between thoughts. And right now, the truth you're seeking isn't new information. It's an ancient remembering. Because the 6/6 gateway doesn't just show you the next step. It reactivates the part of you that already knows the path. But to access it, you must become quiet enough to feel what's buried beneath the noise. So stop, breathe, close your eyes, let the world fall away for a moment, and notice what remains. That soft sensation in your chest, that's not doubt. That's guidance. That is your future self pulling you closer. Stillness is not passive. It's magnetic. It draws in what chasing repels. In silence, your soul comes forward, not to impress, but to remind you that you've been here before, that you've crossed thresholds like this in other lifetimes. That what feels uncertain is actually deeply familiar to your spirit. So many are afraid of stillness because it confronts everything they've avoided. The grief not processed, the identity no longer fitting, the path no longer fulfilling. But stillness isn't the end. It's the threshold. It's where truth echoes louder than thought. It's where you remember what you came here to become. And in this portal, it's the key. because you can't download higher frequencies in a distracted state. You can't receive soul-level instruction in a room filled with noise. Stillness is how the sacred enters. Silence is where it speaks. So make time, not just for quiet, but for presence. Let yourself be still enough to feel the instructions rising inside you. The visions that come without effort. The knowing that doesn't need proof. This is where your intuition becomes memory. Not imagined, remembered. Because everything you need to step forward through this portal already exists inside you. But it's stored beneath the noise you've normalized, the urgency you've adopted, the overthinking that's trying to solve what your soul already solved long ago. Stillness isn't absence, it's access. It's the doorway where timelines converge, where clarity arrives unannounced, where you stop asking and start knowing. Let this be your ritual now. Not another meditation technique, not another guided affirmation, but you, with your breath, your body, and the silence between them. That's where the portal finds you. And that's where you find the part of yourself that never forgot. Not everything that touches you belongs to you. Not every emotion you feel is yours to carry. And during powerful portals like this one, the boundaries between energies blur. You're not just navigating your own upgrades. You're walking through the static field of a collective still resisting its awakening. And if you don't consciously seal your field, you'll start absorbing frequencies that were never meant to stay. The 6-6 portal is magnetic. It amplifies sensitivity. It opens you to downloads, alignments, and breakthroughs. But it also makes you porous to projection, distraction, and distortion. So this step is non-negotiable. You must protect your space. Not to isolate, but to preserve the clarity that's arriving. Have you noticed it? Sudden mood swings after conversations that didn't feel safe. Random waves of doubt, exhaustion, or irritability with no clear origin. The need to cleanse your environment more often, even when nothing visible is wrong. That's your energy field telling you it's time to close the leaks. Because not every presence in your life is neutral. Some are loud even when silent. Some linger even when they leave the room. Some connections are open tabs on your nervous system, constantly draining you. And in this portal, everything you don't close with intention will stay open by default. So how do you seal yourself? Start with awareness. Notice how you feel before, during, and after interactions. Pay attention to the shift. Do you feel more steady or more scattered? Then choose discernment. You don't owe everyone access. You don't need to explain the distance. You don't need to manage their discomfort about your boundaries. Your peace is not up for negotiation. And finally, seal with ritual. It doesn't need to be elaborate. Sometimes it's as simple as breath and intention. A whispered, "I call all my energy back to me now." A salt bath, a closed door. A no spoken without apology. These are sacred acts. Because when you honor your space, you honor your transformation. Remember, not everyone can come with you. Not because they're bad, but because their frequency no longer matches what's being built within you. Protect your breakthroughs, not out of fear, but out of devotion. Because the more open you are, the more precise your boundaries must become. The more light you carry, the more clarity you need on who and what enters your field. You are not fragile. You are finely tuned. And that tuning needs space to resonate, not interference to manage. So seal with intention, with confidence, with reverence, and watch how everything that isn't meant for you stops knocking. Because this isn't just about protection, it's about alignment. And the version of you on the other side of this portal can only rise fully if your energy remains your own. Every portal is a choice, not between good or bad, but between who you've been and who you're becoming. And the 6-6 gateway doesn't just open the door, it places a mirror in front of you. Not to show your flaws, but to ask a deeper question. Which version of you is making the next decision? Because if your next step is chosen through fear, through comfort, through old stories masked as logic, you may step through the portal, but you'll bring the past with you. And this is the invitation: to choose from the future, to stop asking, "What do I do to stay safe?" and start asking, "What would the future me, the healed, embodied, expanded me, choose right now?" That is the turning point. Have you felt it? The subtle urge to shrink, to delay, to revisit what you already outgrew? The temptations wrapped in nostalgia? The moments when you almost texted that person again? Not because they've changed, but because your silence feels unfamiliar? That's the test. Because when your frequency rises, the past will always call one last time to see if you'll answer. But you don't owe your future to who you were. You don't owe your next chapter to anyone who only knew how to love you in your survival. This portal doesn't ask you to be fearless. It asks you to be faithful to the vision that's unfolding inside you. And choosing from the future means making decisions your past self may not understand, but your soul will instantly recognize. It might mean walking away from the almosts, the warm but stagnant, the familiar but limiting. It might mean saying yes to something that feels too big because your frequency has already said yes, and your body is just catching up. It might mean letting yourself be seen differently, even by those who only knew your previous version. The portal doesn't open so you can prove your worth. It opens to remind you that your worth has never been up for debate. So take a breath, close your eyes, and ask yourself now, what is the most aligned decision I can make from the version of me I'm becoming? Not the one who's afraid, not the one who's tired, not the one who's waiting for permission. The one who knows, who feels, who remembers. That choice, however small, reverberates beyond today. It locks in the timeline you've been sensing, the future that's already reaching for you. So choose from her, from the you who's already free, already clear, already whole. Because that's who the portal responds to, not your doubt, but your devotion. And when you choose from the future, you don't just step into alignment, you become it.